Hi, it's Ayesha here from God FM. And I want to talk about the attack that takes place against targeted individuals by neighbors who smear the target's reputation and destroy the person's life. Usually they are neighborhood watch and connected with the gang stalking network, and they then participate in the organizing of the gang stalking, the aerials, the transmitters that they put up everywhere through the 4G network, the 3G network, the 5G network, and aerials and lights. And then they connect up everyone, so you become like famous, It's like a witch hunt, and everybody knows about it, but you don't know about it. And the neighbors are paid to participate in it. And I also just want to put a bit of urgency in my message that it is actually getting to the point where I actually feel that it's getting dangerous, right? Because people are so confident with their attack on me, I've noticed. There's no fear of God. And there's no fear of what they're doing. There's no moral compass. These people are just evil. Earlier today, when I went outside, I had my neighbors in their car, 21 Melville Street. And the lady got out her car and the husband was in the car. This is the husband that goes to the charity shop every time I go to the charity shop, and they run the neighborhood watch, which is the gang stalking network. She got out the car and she went, "Devil worshipper." I thought, wow, what an evil person. And actually I felt a little bit frightened, because it's like gangster behavior, yeah? Bully tactics, bully behavior, and against a single woman, a preacher of God. And when I had the God FM car working and I parked it near there, she and her Muslim looking friend, probably one of those asylum seeker types, were taking photographs of me and videos of my car and me, and mocking me and laughing at me openly right in front of me. And my car is branded with God FM, and it says spreading the message of Jesus. And they were very friendly, to my face. But now they've made it quite obvious, they've decided to make it really apparent that they don't like me. But before, it was behind the scenes and it was very disguised. And it was like, we're just taking videos of our faces and we're doing videos of ourselves. But even though we're really videoing you in your car, because we're going to destroy your life. Because we're so powerful. Because we're part of the Masons. And we secretly worship the devil and drink children's blood and eat people. Because these are the people that are doing this, right? You got to get a grip of what I'm trying to tell you, right? Because when a cult, a Satanist cult, get a grip on a town, and the power that they get is so incredible that they get a kick out of destroying people just for the fun of it, right? Because they've got so much power, nobody will prosecute them or do anything. And when this happened to me just now, I was just popping out to do a few errands, and I felt very uncomfortable, and I don't feel safe, right? And that's what it's come down to, right? Because as far as I'm concerned, these people are dangerous, yeah? Just like the Gary Waterman people, they're dangerous too. People who follow cults, people who blindly listen to lies, don't verify facts. They become dangerous as well as the leaders, because It's like a cult. And they're so protective over their own opinions that they don't want anyone else to have a different opinion to their own. And they will actively go out and spread rumors and lies because they want to create the decimation of someone's life like me. And so I want to talk about it. Because today when this happened, I wasn't expecting it. So I wasn't prepared for a response, really. So what I just said is, well, actually, you're a witch. And you're devil worshippers. Because you're probably having your Christmas tree and your Christmas celebrations this year, aren't you? And you're actually worshipping the devil, Satan. But I also said, there's no fear of God. No fear of God. You don't believe in God, but you also don't fear God. And this is also dangerous. Because there's no judicial system in place, no policing to protect the public against this kind of demonic, satanic attack. And, I just thought, if they had the opportunity, these guys would skin me alive. These are the skinning alive of children type of people. These are the sort of people that are drinking children's blood, buying and selling of adrenochrome. They're serving the elite cult of Satanists, actively causing the destruction of people's lives. And what also occurred to me today is that all of the Masons are mostly men, and their agenda is actually the annihilation of all women. So I've come to know. So what they do is if they recognize that someone is a happy person in the family, they'll do something to destroy the family. And then they'll destroy each element of the family, the child's life. Because these guys have all got little children, right? And they've all got little wives, right? Their lives are good because they follow the devil. So they don't want anyone else to have happiness unless they follow the devil, you see. So this is their tactic. So they go after people and they actively destroy people's lives. If they see someone who's happy, then they'll go around, they become jealous, you see. That person's happy. Oh, that person worships God, is a preacher. Well, we've got so much power, let's destroy this person's life. And yeah, because they've got so much power, in fact, I've said this to God. I said, you know what, God, it's just a bit silly now. Because your devil worshipping devil children down here have got too much power. And it's becoming, I think, dangerous. And I do believe it's dangerous. Because the police won't do anything about this kind of crime. And I've got so much evidence now. And I know how this thing operates. And I've got 30 members on my targeted individual group. Mostly it's women. But they will target men as well. Anybody that is good. Because they want to terrorize that man and their family. They'll send in honeypots to try and get the man to leave his wife. And they'll do this to the women also, but mainly to the men. With what they do is they'll do the same process so that they can't actually help the women, right? And then with the children, what they do is they isolate the children of those families, and they get the parents and the teachers to be horrible to that child, to be nasty to that child, to bully the child. Because this is what we are dealing with. I'm talking facts now, right? I'm talking truth about the reality of the world that we're living in. Because I have personally experienced it, where my two daughters, were not welcomed by certain children and their parents because they'd made a beeline, a witch hunt, and they decided that They would make sure that my children were not popular and didn't have any friends. But because they didn't like me. Yeah. And so you've got to understand that the cult that I'm talking about, this Masonic cult, they've infiltrated everything. The schools, the media, the hospitals, the governments, and they worship the devil, right? And they want to annihilate the human race, but also animals and plants and trees. And they're a secret cult. And they go and they do their satanic rituals, their witchcraft, where they sacrifice their own family members to achieve their goals. So if they do some curses and witchcraft and they call on a demon to go against somebody, if that isn't successful, the demon will want blood. And it will want the blood of someone in their family. Yeah. Because these guys are so power hungry, they'll do anything for the demonic realm to achieve what they want to achieve. And this is what I'm saying. They're dangerous. Okay? The people who are doing this gang stalking and everything else, and the people who run it, are dangerous. That's a simple fact. As far as I'm concerned, I think that they are dangerous. I think that these are the sort of people, because they've got so much power and the police won't stop them, these are the sort of people that, because they already do the home invasions and modify all of your electrics, and they dig drains and put all sorts of things everywhere and aerials, and are stalking you, isolating you. It's like a psychopath's behavior. It's a control thing, and it's a power thing. It's about, they get a kick out of destroying someone's life, but then they also put it on the dark web. So it's all about ratings and figures. So you got to understand that these are the same sort of people that will dismember people in the kitchen, right? These are the same sort of people that are buying and selling children's blood to drink it so they can look younger. These are the same sort of people who call on witches and are warlocks, who will summon demons to achieve whatever they want to achieve, because they're demonic people. Yeah? Outside, in the public domain, they are nice people. Perfectly lovely. You wouldn't have any idea. But they use their children to do the witchcraft because children have power, because they're innocent. And I've witnessed this as well. They go to their trees and they do their rituals. They are evil. But as I say, they are so confident and they are so dismissive of real people. Only thing that matters to them is themselves and the power and the kick. Waking up as early as possible with bloodshot eyes to commit evil. These are everything that the Bible writes about as evil people. And I was thinking to myself earlier today, we are definitely in deep trouble in England, but in the world at large. Because if my neighbors can be convinced to torment me and torture me and harass me, then, and this can happen to anybody, and the neighbors can be bought. This also means that my whole life, which I've come to realize, my whole life has been a facade of lies. It has influence from demonic people, Satanists, who have had their hands in every element of my life, including my marriage, my birth, my upbringing, my friends at school, being molested consistently, repeatedly as a child by strangers, neighbors, friends at school, family members. It's like they want to break your soul. They get a kick out of it because by doing this, they're touching your soul. They're breaking your soul. And they don't want you to have any happiness or light, because that's where your power lies. So they purposely do these evil things as a child to you, so that your consciousness is fractured and your soul is fractured. And your life is also fractured. Your viewpoint is also handicapped. Your grasp on love and reality is also fractured. Your hopes and dreams are also fractured. Not just once or twice, but throughout your life. These people purposely follow you around and get involved in every aspect of your life. And now that we've had this pandemic, you could say it's a virus of evil that has infected everyone. There's hardly anyone not infected by this evil. And it's basically shown me that there's hardly any point to being here. Because the demonic people have so much power. And there's no hope for anyone. And I have told God this as well. That, for me, I'm just totally disappointed, because I love God and I love His Bible. But I just think He's let the devil children have too much power here. That's what I think. And so there's no hope. It means that someone like me will never be loved, or never will experience true love. I'll never really ever experience making love with someone who really loves me. Being married to someone who really loves me. Having children with someone who loves me. No, because I'm not here to be loved or to be happy. I'm here for the amusement of Satanists who copy me. And that's something else. They copy everything. They want to know everything. They stalk, they hack, they follow, they smear. They want to know everything. But they want to make sure that I'm never happy. Never, ever. And I've come to accept that as my fate. Basically. That I will not be happy. I will never find love. I'll never be able to meet anybody who I can really trust or love, because there's a group of really evil, satanistic cult that have infiltrated various parts of the world, but in every aspect of society they are there. And they are here to ensure that people are never happy, never have enough money. They never have love. The children are taken away from them. Children are molested. They're taken from families and put with families who molest them. Children are actively kidnapped and stolen for this evil cult who eat and drink children's blood. But not just children's blood, the blood of children that are tormented to the point of terror and fright, that they are so frightened, and then they slit the throat and drink the blood. Why? Because they look younger and they look better. But these people have sold their souls. And when you sell your soul, your lifeblood goes. And so you start to decay and die. Like the neighbor. She looks like a dead person walking. There's no life in her face. It's just full of wrinkles. It looks like a witch with a mop of hair. Could be just like a witch's mop, I suppose. The face is more of a demon than a real person. And it's surprising, actually, because the husband's evil too, but he doesn't look so bad. He's actually quite a good-looking guy. Maybe he's the warlock. And he sucks her energy and her lifeblood out of her so that she looks like a shriveled old shrimp. You know when apple goes off and all the juices start to come out of it and it goes all wrinkly and there's nothing left of it. Just a wrinkly shell of what was an apple. Well, that's kind of what she looked like. And I think that's what happens when people keep doing evil. I was thinking about the movies. And in the movies, when they do these evil witchcraft spells and things, they always look older, don't they? So if you look at all the films, it's always about looking younger, and they've got to sacrifice virgins and things. But what I've realized is they don't just go after virgins, they go after little children. They've stopped waiting until someone's nearly a virgin, because that's too much of a risk, because she might find love on the way. So now they target little children at birth, from birth. And because they're doing the pinprick test and testing people's blood, they're able to work out who you are and whatever else from this. And I believe they've got technology to be able to see who you are and what you're going to become. They also call on the witches and the warlocks to determine what your future is, and then actively go out to try and destroy that, so that you don't get the blessings that have been accounted to you. So I've come to realize. But yeah, it's interesting, when you realize how evil the world is. I've realized that the world's very evil. And I've said to God, I don't think there's much to save. I don't feel like preaching the gospel, because I don't really feel that there's any real people left, and I don't think anyone's got a soul anymore. Hardly anybody. And I think I'm done with that. Now it's just about trying to help the others who are the same as me, who are hunted, and their lives are decimated by Satanists who can pay off anyone to annihilate your life. And they have so much power that they've got influence in the police also. So that if you do try and get help, then they'll send an ambulance and take you off to the crazy bin. And you'll live in a crazy bin with crazy people and be put on pills and medicine to dull down your light and destroy who you are. But I think the most evil part about it is like when I realize how evil it is, that the husbands get the women pregnant, and then they leave the women, and in my case they moved the new woman in on the same day that I vacated, that he was cheating with. So the bed wasn't even cold. And then it wasn't just about decimating my life, it was about decimating the children's lives. And this still goes on now, even though my children are grown up. Because they purposely send in Mason people to destroy people's lives. The men are trained in this way, I believe, to destroy women and destroy the children as well. So like, in my case, I wanted to foster children, but because of what happened, I won't be able to foster children, even though I was a good mother, as best I could be in the situation I was under. But because there is elements of evil people who have infiltrated my life, they've got influence over people's opinions. And also, what these people like to do is, once they've decimated most of your life, your career, because they'll do that as well, they'll actively make sure that you can't keep a job. They'll actively make sure that everything you're doing is being monitored. But you won't be aware of it. And you'll just, meet someone and they're really nice to you, and then the next minute they don't like you anymore, and you don't, well, why not? Because someone said something. And but you wouldn't believe it, would you? That people would go to so much effort to destroy someone. But they do, because these are Satanists, Masons. You've got to understand that the only people that are allowed to be happy in this world are Satanists and Masons. And they pretend to be Christians, and they run most of the churches as well. And they don't talk about these times that we're in now, because they don't really want people to be aware of what we are dealing with. And let me tell you what that is. This is the destruction of mankind, animals, trees and plants, to the point where there'll be hardly anything left. And then God will come. And that's where we are right now. It's very sad. But like I say, as I've encountered so many others the same, after the husband has left you, the woman will, have hope that she'll meet someone, but no one wants to marry a woman with children. So she'll end up on her own, struggle to bring up the children. Probably swapped. She was probably swapped at birth anyway, so the parents won't be there for her either. And basically, she'll be hated by the whole town because, these people have got so much influence and power. They'll do everything they can. And if there's any joy or happiness in her life, they'll do witchcraft and all sorts of evil things. And then when the children have finally grown up and she's brought the children up by herself, then the father will actively destroy their relationship, because he'll brainwash the children, because he's good at that, because they're trained. Because if they can convince every neighbor to turn against an innocent preacher of God like they've done to me, then they've got so much power over children's minds, to convince them that their memories of their childhood are a lie, and actually put in new memories. Did you see that there was a clip about was it Adriana Grande? It was one of those ladies. A very beautiful woman, but she's not beautiful anymore because she hasn't had adrenochrome. But she was on the camera saying, "Oh, I don't remember that," she said. "I don't remember." "What? Why don't you remember?" "Oh, because I went to the Happy Days Memory Clinic and I had my memory wipe and I don't remember that bit anymore." So basically what they do is they do wipe people's memories. And if they can wipe your memories and give you Happy Days memories, what else can they do? I'm talking about people who do home invasions while you're in bed asleep. I believe I was injected while I was sleeping as well. And I also believe that I was raped by the same people. And how could that happen? Well, because this is a cult and they run the world. And they're so evil, that's what they get enjoyment out of. Yeah? And I'm here to talk facts. Because also I want you to know that there's more to this. Because also once you are isolated and you've got nobody, and you've come to sort of a place where you've just sort of gone, well, I guess I'm just going to have to go with God and the Bible and be by myself, because everyone I meet turns against me. And you come to this sort of realization, and you come to accept that you probably won't ever meet anyone like yourself, and you'll never be happy with anyone. And you try and settle then to read the Bible and just get to know God and do the work of God. That's when they'll really come in at you and start torturing you. with no touch torture, using all this technology, aerials, because they've already got everything on you. They've been studying you, watching you. They know all about your biometrics. They know the inner workings of who you are. They studied your reactions because they've sent the people in to break your heart into a million pieces. So they know everything about you, probably know you better than you know yourself. And so then they because they know exactly what to say to everybody to get them to all join in, it's like a witch hunt. Then they'll rig up the whole house so that you get tortured and tormented. And they can cook your privates like they cook my vagina, right? And they've rigged up my bed so it's like an electric chair using the earth wire, the alternate current. And then they've got like a grinding type of engine that moves around, actually, I've noticed. And I think it's operated through the drains. And this causes more trauma because you're being shaken all night and you're being cooked. Because they'll also point lights which are microwave connected to like a microwave technology, which cooks you. And so they can do this with me, but they can also do it with your children. And they've actively gone and put all of this machinery and equipment everywhere. And this is like a lockdown grid, a satanic grid, where you're either going to be hunted or you're going to have your mind wiped. You know about the Happy Days memory clinic I just told you about. All right. So they can do this with no touch. They can take your mind and put it in the metaverse. So this is where we are, and I want to talk about it because I think it's also, like I said, it's getting to the point where it's actually getting dangerous. It's actually getting really dangerous because people are so confident with the crimes they commit. I'm a bit horrified, as you can probably tell. I'm not imagining this is happening because I can also tell you that when I take my phone down to the phone shop and have it wiped, this all stops because it's all done through the phone, activating all of the technology that you don't know exists in the house so that they can torture you. Because they want to make sure that you kill yourself or, that your life is decimated because they've got so much power and they enjoy doing this to somebody. Well, I'm here to tell you that I've had enough of it. I've told God the same. And today when my neighbor said, oh, you devil worshipper, they know I'm not a devil worshipper, but they are devil worshippers. They have no fear of God. So this is a public broadcast where I'm now going to call on God for the repayment and for his cup to be full now. So that something is done, because from my point of view, there's no hope for any of us if this is the world we live in. So I'm calling on you, my God, maker of heaven and earth, publicly now, to do something. Only you know what is the best thing to do in this situation, because you're the writer of our history, our destiny, and our future. I ask you to take control and please write a good destiny and a good future for us. And could you please delete the evil people from the matrix existence of hell that we seem to live in at the moment on earth, and give us some hope, because I haven't got any hope at the moment at all. Knowing what I know, having seen what I've seen, and I said to God as well, and I'll say it again, that even if they stop torturing me and hacking me, because of what I've seen, it's affected me. And I'm just traumatized by it. I'm really traumatized. It's really affected me. And I guess, if you torture a dog for long enough, eventually that dog won't want to be here anymore. And I'm a bit like that now. So I'm asking God to give me a reason to be here. And also something to look forward to for all of us. I pray to you, God, because I do your daily light for you. And you made a covenant with us and promises which you need to keep in your Bible. So I'm asking you to please keep your promises. God. Thank you, Lord. It's Ayesha from God FM, and I just wanted to share my thoughts and feelings with you. I hope you're all having an amazing day. And if you want to find God FM, you can find us on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Chrome, YouTube, X, Apple, Telegram, TikTok, God FM News, God FM New, and God FM Radio. And you can email me, admin@godfm.org.uk. And you can also WhatsApp me, +44 777 77788. All right then, hope you have an amazing day. It's Ayesha from God FM. Take care.